to the motivational, inspirational station, channel, podcast. Freedom.
Hello and welcome to the Discover Greatness podcast. I am your host, Micheal Rice, founder and CEO of Discover Greatness. And if you see me looking down, it's because I have show notes right here. And you can find more about me on my website, discovergreatnessglobal.com. This is episode number 2, and we got the camera rolling right here. We got Facebook Live, we got Instagram. So if I don't see you talking, that's because I'm trying to focus on the camera that's in front of me. So live from the Discover Greatness Studios, hashtag my basement. But I heard a wise man say, fake it until you make it. So I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, spending time with their families and friends. And understand, before you get excited about 2019, understand that you still have time in 2018 to set your goals. Don't wait. Start now. I hear the song say, "Don't wait till the battle is over. Start now." So start now in 2018, whatever your heart desires. So it was a sad day in the Rice household this week. We lost our family. Our family dog, Jiggy, Poodle, Yorkie. And it's true when people say a dog is a man's best friend. So it was a really tough day. But as my sister said, all dogs go to heaven. My sweet and loving buddy Jiggy. Oh, how I will miss you. And shout out to my sister and my mom. They were really intricate. I mean, the dog was all ours, but they were intricate parts of, making sure Jiggy got checkups and stuff like that. So shout out to them. So yeah, it was really tough, and it really puts you in a state of reflection. Even coming from a pet or a dog that makes you just sit down and think about life. So he was close to us, so we were really going to miss him. And before I start talking about the topic that I want to talk today, there was a major movie release during this break. The Bird Box. The Bird Box was I like the video. I like the Bird Box, but it's streamed on Netflix and starring Sandra Bullock. And according to Netflix, they had over 45 million accounts that watched the Bird Box. And according to CNN, he said they could be with it actually, because we never know who actually was watching it. Maybe they had logged off, or maybe they didn't track how many people turned it off after a few minutes. So but I don't really care who watched it. 45 million is still a lot of people. And it was funny. That was like the subject on my timeline. So it was really fun to see the memes and different people had different meanings to what the movie was about. And we, me coming from a black church, we had to do the sermons like, in the world where there's so much destruction, there is a safe place. And it's called the Bird Box. So, I mean, if you didn't like it, if you liked it or you didn't like it, the movie was definitely a movie for the culture. So, and it kind of reminded me of like I Am Legend, I think. And I could be biased because I really like Will Smith. So it just kind of put me in that frame. So it was great. So let's talk sports, man. We're hours away. The college football playoffs is here, and I love football. As you know, man, I'm a coach. I love football. And I will get into my Steelers a little later. But the college football playoffs today, we have number 1 Alabama will take on number 1 Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, and number 2 Clemson will take on Notre Dame. I would like to see 2 different teams in the national championship game, but hey, you never want to give Nick Saban a couple weeks to prepare for a team. Although Nick Saban and Alabama has struggled with mobile quarterbacks, at the same time, Oklahoma doesn't have a good defense. So if they can't score, man, it's gonna be a problem. And with Notre Dame and Clemson, I think this would be Notre Dame's first true test. I'm not saying the game won't be easy, But I think Clemson is really going to take that one on. And let's get to my Steelers. Lord have mercy. Let's pray. It's funny, man. The Steelers we need prayers. Baltimore has to lose to the Browns in order for us to win. So let's pray. But this is an interesting fact. Check this out. In 2009, I found this. It came up yesterday. In 2009, on Facebook, I posted this. I was like, and this was in 2000. It said, "Man, I hope." I said, "Well, man, I had a hold of my school account, so I couldn't see my grades. But finally, I got it in the mail, so I passed. But I just found out that the Steelers are going to need a lot of prayers to make it to the playoffs. So I need all the Steelers fans to pray that the Ravens lose." Oh my God! When I read that, I was like, "Yo," and I'm kind of big on superstition. I know that's probably, I don't know if that's good or bad, but interesting fact. In 2009, guess what happened? The Steelers won the Super Bowl. So let's go. In 2009, Pittsburgh Steelers season was the 77th season in the National Football League. They were coming off a season in which they compiled a 12-4 winning season. And they capped the season by winning the franchise record 6 Super Bowl. The team's coaching staff remained the same for the 3rd consecutive year. So I'm not saying that we could win, but you never know. So that was an interesting fact. I was like, man, 2009 is crazy. Today in 2018, we need the Ravens to lose again. So that was dope. So let's get into what I want to talk about today. Where we at? Today's topic is understanding the power you create. Understanding the power in the Nightingale Coaching program, Creating Miracles Every Day. Dr. Richard Carlson, he talks about looking at the world with different eyes. Ooh, that was good. Looking at the world in different eyes of wisdom, different eyes of gratitude, and different eyes of happiness and love. And then he goes to say, he says, have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you had everything you could imagine? Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you had everything you could imagine? If every moment was filled with awesome power, if all your relationships were sound and your heart was truly filled with gratitude for everything you had in your life, to turn every moment into an extraordinary experience. Well, believe it or not, you are within reach. Believe it or not, you are in reach to have an extraordinary experience in your life. And I talked about, looking at the world in different eyes. And he was teaching us how to live in the present moment. Because sometimes you can feel like everything is kind of rushed, like we rushed through the Christmas season. Everybody's rushing to get to 2019. We have a couple more days in 2018. So you have to just begin to slow down. And Richard talks about his life being an open book. And many times when you become an author, and I can attest to this, your life it does become an open book. And then for like the self-help field, like motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, he was saying that you have to be able, the challenge of that in the self-help field, and maybe some of you are like motivational speakers in the self-help field, the challenge is as a great effort to walk what you talk or practice what you preach. And if you really don't, you're gonna hear about it. And that's true. He said that especially from your family and friends. It's like, yo, I see you as Mike Rice, but on here you missed to discover greatness. So it's a challenge of really walking that life. And the principles he was sharing is not only continues working on yourself, but as a self-help, as a motivator, and especially for me, continuously working on myself. I just don't get on here and talk. I'm actually putting these principles to work. Because we got to understand the journey of our life, and it's a process. It's not a destination. And my aunt got married about, about a week ago. It was a great time, man, a joyous time, man. Shout out to her and her husband, Mr. and Mrs. Henderson. And I was talking to a cousin of mine. I hadn't really seen him, and sometimes as a people call motivational speaker, as a person that create videos and create content about motivation, about self-help. A lot of times you get caught up in like the views, like who's watching, who's listening, or whatever. And I hadn't really seen him, say anything about my videos or put it like in a chat. And he reached out. He said, "Man, Mike, every time I watch one of your videos, every time you post something, man, that gives me encouragement. I could be down, I could be doing something, but every time I watch it," and I was like, "Bro," "Man, you just encouraged me to keep going because somebody wants to hear this." And I heard somebody say, if you're talking to everybody, you're really talking to nobody. So it's always one that's really going to take this message to heart and use this message to better their life. So I thank God for that. So things like that, stories like that, it puts what I'm doing in proper perspective, and recognizing that they're talking about these things. They're talking about this talking about them and living them out is totally different. I'm gonna say that again. Talking about what we're talking about appreciation and living life and slowing down. Talking about it, we can talk all day, but actually living it out, it's truly two different things. So I try my best to live out my own message, and I try to first live it out, test it, try, and continues to get better at it, and then give it out. Because one thing, and I love Jim Rohn. I don't know if you ever listen to Jim Rohn, but Jim Rohn says, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I'm gonna say that again. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So listening to this episode, I want you to listen to it with an open mind, listen to it with an open heart, but a light open heart, and understanding that it's okay to mess up, and from time to time, we're not gonna always get it right, but that's part of the process. Dr. Carlson talked about that's the part of the process. And what Dr. Carlson got this from, creating miracles every day, or having the power to create, slowing down, appreciating life, it was through death. Through death for him, one of his best friends died in a car accident. Him and his husband, his best friend and his wife lost their life in a car accident, and he said that really made him put his life in a reflective state. And in any death or tragedy makes us do that. Like I said, even with my sisters, my mom, or the family dog passing away, it puts you in a respective state. It's like, man, whatever I need to do, man, I need to do it now. So that, because that what tragedy does, it puts you in a respective date to not live life so fast, but take heed to the moments that God has given you. And there's a deep level to all of this. It's not just about being happy every day, or putting smiles on you. Like it's really about appreciating life, understanding that life is fragile, and it can quickly end. And Dr. Carlson was talking about too. He was saying that many people that was at hospitals was talking about their life, changing their life, like being able, they wish they could go back and do something different. But according to him, which I agree, he said, I don't want to look back on life. He said, I don't want to do anything different. I want to say that I appreciate every day I was given. And it's something that's crazy. And I was telling my sister this. It's something that it's something the Buddhists do, man. This thing really got to me. It says, the Buddhists, they say, is this today? Man, that thing is crazy. It said, is this the day that I die? Could this be my last day? And it's something about that puts you in a state of gratitude, man. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for your family. And it allows you to reflect and appreciate things of today. So be, like I said, be appreciative. Don't take life for granted, man. You don't have to rush through things. Sometimes you just gotta take your time and sit down and be thankful for life. And when you start, listen to this. And when you start out your day with appreciation, your world becomes alive. It really does. Rather than taking everything for granted, you are looking for things that are right and then you're looking for the gifts in life. And when you look for something, most of adults are very good at what they practice. Most of us are good at what we practice. So if we're practicing kindness, if we're practicing generosity, if we're always looking at things in the right lens, in the right eye, everywhere, not just when spectacular things happen, that it becomes like a thing that you do every day, and it becomes what you become good at it. You become the best at it. So don't let us treat life as an emergency. Don't let us treat life as an emergency. Life is an adventure. It is a magical adventure. So slow down and see the beauty of it and the miracles that are around it. I'll say that again. Slow down and see the beauty of life and the miracles around us. So what I want you to get out of today's episode is to appreciate life, to appreciate everyday life. There are so much beautiful things around us and in our lives. But sometimes so many of us are rushing through it that we always rush through to see what's next. Preoccupied with how busy we are, telling people how busy we are, and thinking about how busy we are. And all the while thinking that life is going to get better than it is right now. So, like I said, appreciate life. It will get better. Not saying, but just hold out and be patient. That it's going to work out. So, thank you guys for listening to this Discover Greatness podcast, man. You can get all this information in the show notes, and I'll put it in there, and I'll put the program that I was listening to from Dr. Carlson on here. For a night nail Covenant program. So a lot of the nuggets I took from him. So like I said, if you see me looking down, that's because I had the notes. But I'm just going to be put on the Discover Greatness podcast. Thank you all for watching in Facebook. I did a triple threat today. I had it recorded live, I had Facebook live. So thank you all for watching there. Definitely share this out to people. Hopefully they get some out of this message. I had Instagram live. So yeah, we doing it big, man. We're trying to make 2019. We're trying to make the rest of 2008. We're trying to make the rest of 2018 momentum for 2019. So thank you for listening to the Discover Greatness podcast, the #1 motivational inspirational station. That's DGTV. And just before I end this episode, don't forget about the Discover Greatness Teen Awards. If you know any teen that's making a difference in the surrounding areas, Henderson, Warrenton, Oxford, man, we can go Durham, Raleigh. Go to this dgteenawards.weebly.com. Select the team, nominate a team. The teens selected will be awarded at the Teen Awards March 24th, 2019. Nominations close Thursday, January 31st, 2019. Awardees will be notified of their selection in February 2019. Also, the Teen Awards are looking for sponsors, man. So if you want to sponsor a teen, if you want to donate to the cause, man, we're really trying to make this thing really, really big. And I got some people that's already on the team that's doing great things behind the scenes. So shout out to them. But we need sponsorship, and sponsorship packages are available. So if you have your own business and you want to be a part of it, definitely, man, be a sponsor, because we're gonna we're going to promote you at the awards. I mean, we're going to say such and such is sponsored by you because you looked out for us. So I'm excited, man. Also, shout out to Dimitri Rayner. He has a book called About Faith, One Man's Journey from the Streets to Salvation. Had a chance to interview him. Awesome man of God. And we just kind of dialogue, man. So that interview is it's on my YouTube, also on my Facebook channel, all over the web. So definitely, I said the web like 2009. It's all over the internet, all over social media. So go hit that up. Shout out to CjJonesVision. He produced that for me, man. My cousin, he produced that interview for us. So if you need a videographer, a photographer, man, he's definitely hit him up. Shout out to Whitney McGree, another cousin of mine. And guys, if you have a business, definitely hit me up, man, so I can shout you on the show. I would definitely love to promote you, give you some time on the show, man. Definitely promote things that are good, decent in order, man. Not saying something that's gonna help the people grow, help our communities grow. So definitely do that. But Whitney McGree, she has a clothing line called Proverbs Clothing Company. I have a shirt, and you seen it all over. You probably seen it all over the internet, man. Also, Mary had it had one of her shirts on her show. So definitely, man, let's spread the love to people that we know locally before they go globally. All right. So all the information will be in my show notes, so you can see it on YouTube. If you know somebody who would like to be on the show, if you know somebody that would like to be on the show, man, definitely call me 252-590-0571 or email me at disgreatness, that's DISC greatness @gmail.com. For more details or upcoming events, visit my website, Discover Greatness Global. Thank you guys for listening to the Discover Greatness podcast. Be sure to visit my website again to join the conversation and access all the show notes and discover our fantastic bonus content. Remember, the goals of your future, where God is taking you, will have a different crowd at the finish line than those walking with you today. And it's always, and it will forever will be, today you win because today you live. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. You have just listened to the Discover Greatness podcast. Be sure to join the conversation on our website at discovergreatnessglobal.com. Subscribe to this awesome audio production to take your greatness to another level. It's your boy, Motivational Mike, the #1 station in the nation, man. We love you. One. Hey, and remember, today you win because today you live. Why? Because Discover Greatness is in your DNA. What's up? It's your boy, Motivational Mike, and you listen to the Motivational Inspirational Station channel.